Hello, I'm Dr. James Bogash, expert in health and longevity and creator of Bogash Life in Balance. And today we're going to talk a little bit more about tea, which, if you've followed anything I've ever written ever, you'll know I'm a huge fan of drinking uh, unsweetened, flavored, organic when possible tea. So none of the boring Lipton black tea, more like China Mist Blackberry Jasmine or uh, spice and tea exchange, creme brulee, like fantastic teas that taste wonderful. And our family goes through tea very, at very high levels. And we've certainly posted videos about how we make tea and some examples of some of the tea we use. But the challenge is always that we've been brainwashed into the idea that we need to have a plastic water bottle, 8 ounces of water within an arm's reach of any given moment of any given day to make us healthier. Well, do we think we're actually healthier in the past 20 years now that we all have access to plastic water bottles at any given moment? Well, the answer is obviously no. Our health continues to decline with higher rates of obesity and cancer and heart disease and certainly immune function. And actually, I just flagged an article looking at the amount of microplastics that show up from drinking plastic water bottles, so stay tuned for that one. But tea unquestionably has a very long history of positive results in the medical literature. So this particular study looking at matcha, which is not something that I typically partake in, but never against any form of tea. Matcha is a specialized form of green tea, kind of ground down and used into a powder. We can then screw it up by putting in with other sweet things or artificial sweeteners, or we can use matcha as a mix in traditionally they may use it in certain types of milk. Personally, I'm not a fan of dairy, so looking at almond or rice or hemp milk. But the tea is grown specially. It's shaded for a couple weeks before it's harvested, so it has higher levels of the amino acid L-theanine as well as higher levels of caffeine. Now, L-theanine is it's an amino acid that our body uses to make GABA. GABA is a very calming neurotransmitter. So think alcohol, think Valium, Ativan, those all affect that kind of pathway, but Mother Nature makes things that affect that pathway as well. Green tea happens to be one of them. So it would make sense that when researchers looked at a group of 42 25 to 34-year-old young people, so this isn't an old group, this is definitely a younger adult group. And they had them do 2 grams a day of matcha for 2 weeks. And then they put them through some testing. And this is a particular type of testing that details are in the study, but basically they stressed them out, just mild cognitive stress. And the people that were taking matcha actually performed better on these tests. So just yet another reason to add green tea, black tea, red, white tea. We go through it all. We go more for taste. And not a bad idea to maybe sprinkle a little bit of matcha in whatever you happen to be drinking. After this, I think I may try some of that. Can be a little bit bitter, so you got to kind of balance that out. And I'll see how that goes for me. But as always, I'll post a link to this particular study in the description. Make sure you share this video with somebody who you think needs the information, subscribe to the channel, and give the video a like.